Hey, welcome back, everybody, and hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And today we are going to learn about data types, and we learn about data types and all of the ones that were in Python commonly used in my previous video. So if you're new, just look back into the previous video of data types. But today we're specifically going to focus on int and float. Int and float and performing actions to it, mathematical actions to it, because in programming you can do anything, but today we're going to learn about some of the math in programming. So even if you remember, always follow me on Ripple so that way you can go ahead and code along as with me, because one of the things as programmer is you want to make sure that you know the terms and you practice a lot. If the syntax you don't get it, the syntax is the coding. If you don't get it, like writing it, don't worry, you're gonna get it eventually. Don't bug yourself down, because if it was easy, everybody will be programming. But it's not easy, so it just takes practice. So go ahead and click Python and REPL. Let's make this a little bit dark because I'm a vampire. And what I'm doing right here is comments, hashtag. In Python, we use hashtag to put comments. So when you're gonna be if you're gonna be a professional programmer or a software engineer, wherever you are, or a web developer, whatever your field is, you gotta make sure you put comments, because when other people are looking at your code, you gotta make sure they know what they're referring, what is that thing, like. Just put comments in your code. Even you, when you just coding and you forget, like you come back to it like a week later, you want to make sure you know what you wrote. So little comments are always good. So today we're going to focus on int and float. We know what int is. Int is just whole numbers. It represents whole numbers, as in 2, 4, 3, 5, 6. It just represents whole numbers. That's what int, this word, means. Int means integers, so it holds integers. And float, we know that float holds decimal points, so it could be 0.3, 2.4, 4.5. It just holds decimals. That's what float is. And one of the things that we already know is we actually performed an action in the last video. We performed this one. We printed something, right? So think about, give me a second to give an example. So right here, we're printing hello, right? We're telling our machine, hey, I want you to print this string. And remember, string, which if you look at my previous video, str just means string. It means a string of words or letters, So think about the brackets as in, hey, I'm gonna start performing an action. So you want to make sure you click that little bracket and then you perform an action. And one of the things that I love about Python is you can easily add, subtract, and multiply and divide. If it was any other programming language, we would have to say int, hey, I want this number to equal 0, and I want this one to, and then you have to add the math library. So there are stricter programming languages. So very well that you chose this one, because one of my subscribers chose Python, and you're wise, because it's very fast and it's less stricter, and it's also one of the hottest languages out there. Fun fact, Netflix is built on Python as well. If you think about it, it's holding a lot of movies, and we have to find the best algorithm for the, each user has their favorites. Each user has, like, if you really look at different people's Netflix, it's different, that criteria. And it goes all back to Python. Python can handle everything. It's one of the hottest languages, I swear. But don't quote me on that. There's other languages on there on Netflix that they use, but I know Python is used on Netflix. So let's continue. So today we're going to be performing the math. So we can say in Python 2 plus 4, and it's going to give me the addition. So what we did here, we printed, hey, I'm telling my machine, hey, printed an open bracket, and I'm putting a 2. We can put numbers in there, okay? But I want you to know that we're performing two actions here. We're printing and we're adding right here. We're adding that addition sign right there. Just by adding that addition sign, we're performing an action. If we were just to say print 24, it's just gonna print 24. So you see, but if you say 2 plus, you're saying an action, plus 6, close bracket, now you're printing out the sum of that. So we can also say print 2 times 8. Let me do a couple so that way we can know. 2 divided by 4. Print. You can also do subtraction. So 2 minus 6. I just want to make sure, I want to show you something. 6 minus 2. Okay, so we get in this one, we know that 2 plus 6 is 8, right? And we know that 2 times 8 is 16. Now look at this. 2 divided by 4, and it already gives us the float. It gives us a 0.5 number. So it's able to handle decimal numbers. And the thing I love so much about Python is you can just treat it as a calculator. Like, we're here, we're just adding, we're multiplying, we're dividing, we're subtracting. We even get over here, it already knows, hey, you're going to get a negative number. And it gives me that negative number. And here, I did the same thing, but now the 6 is bigger than the 2. So we get a positive number. The thing about like this, whenever you're thinking about negative signs and stuff like that, think about it like this. You owe people $6 and you only have 2. You're going to still owe them $4 because you only have 2. So you're going to end up negative. So think about it like that when you're subtracting about what's the negative and when you're doing it like, but in computer you don't have to worry about that. It does it for you. Another thing about Python, it tells me the type. Type can tell me we're going to perform another action, which is bracket, and I want you to tell me the type of this summation. 2 plus 4 is going to tell me, hey, don't worry about class, we'll talk about that in another future video, but it tells me, hey, after I printed this type of 2 plus 4, you get an integer. And it's true, we do get an integer. So in here we get print type 2 divided by 4. It tells me, hey, you're going to get a float. So we have a float. So now that we know what int and float is and how we can use them in mathematical stuff, now you can see how it's easy. Like, the syntax is so easy. If you ever just want to add something, just say print, and then you just say plus 4 or minus. But right now we're just learning the little basics. Later on you're going to do dynamic programming where you will be able to use, maybe you want to find the shuffle of cards, or maybe you want to find the grade average. So it comes really important to know the difference of int and float. And just want you to know that float, let's not get too technical, but float really holds a lot much more memory into the computer, because computers speak in binary numbers, zeros and ones. So that's why programming languages are built, so we can talk to the machine with certain syntax like these. In Python, we're printing and we're adding. That's a simple function. Another one that we're going to learn today is also round. Python also has round. You can just say, hey, I want you to round 0.5. Right? Nothing happened because I kind of tricked you there. It's not going to happen nothing because, hey, I'm not performing anything. I'm just saying to the computer round this, but I'm not actually saying, hey, I want you to print it out or perform this action. So now I can say print round bracket 0.5. No, let's say 3.6. And it actually gives me my rounded number because I did this performing. I did print. I want you to print this open bracket. I want you to now perform rounding in this action right here, 3.6. And you can even do big values as well. So we can say, hey, I want you to round. And in this IDE already recognizes what I can do with the words. So IDE means just like a software where programmers can write languages on there, their programming language on there. This one is free, REPL. But you can either write a number or n of digits. So right now we're just writing a number. So let's say 36.99. is gonna tell me, hey, it rounds to 37. So that's pretty easy. You know, addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, and round. Another one that I almost forgot is modulus. Modulus is just basically the remainder, but in programming you use the percentage. So 3% of 6, the remainder of that is going to be 3. So if we were to say print, perform this action to percentage, but it's percentage in the keyboard, but in programming and in Python is called modulus. So we know that the remainder is going to be 2. So I hope you learn a little bit more about this, and just keep practicing, keep adding numbers, or just do any math that you know, and it will handle it. But remember, you have to know, you have to tell the machine what you're performing. So if I just want to print words like hello world, how are you, you know, this is one of the first things we write as programmers. Like, it introduces us like, hey, hello world. Well, you can also do math just without even saying math. You just say 2 plus 4, 2 plus 5, and it does the action for you. You're performing that action, and you can do subtraction, modulus, division. But for this video, we just learned those few, and we just focus on performing the action on int and float. So in the other future video that I'm coming up with, we're gonna do a little bit of more math stuff. And I know you may be thinking, hey, why math? I want to learn cool stuff. Yeah, but when we're learning about Python and programming and the basics, you always want to start off with your data types, what you can do with those data types, and how powerful it can be probably in math stuff. Math is always going to be there in programming. I'm not going to lie to you. So you kind of have to get used to it. But don't worry, I'm here to teach you to make it better. Well, thanks for seeing this video, and I hope to see you in the other one. Have a great day.